Hi everybody and welcome back to another Let's Play of the book Unwritten Tale 2. Technically, I just woke up from my... Yeah, nap technically.
The Elf Row is one of the most beautiful spots imaginable, but a golden prison is still a prison. The Elf Row is one of the most beautiful spots, but a golden prison is... The last time I used this thing, I blew a bounty hunter out of the sky. Nonetheless, Critter and I prefer to avoid a fight if we can and rely on our brains and good looks. Ivo's hypocrite doesn't seem very happy. Perhaps she's missing her rider, or she's just hungry, or both. Go over into the garden. There are plants and fruit there if you're hungry. Don't fancy greens, huh? Mary was damaged recently, and I want to repair her. When I say recently, I mean about 2 years ago. But in my defense, I had to save the world in the meantime. I'll start the repair tomorrow. But what can you do if there's a better use for the plate? As soon as I've picked up Critter, I'm out of here. Perhaps we'll fly to... whatever. We're free. We can fly to wherever we want. Mary tried to teach me some knots. I think she likes passing on her knowledge to me. She said she'll try and teach pigs to fly next. No, I don't need to moor the Mary. She holds her position herself. Critter, what have you done now? Ivo's mother? Oh. Come on, let's get you out of there first. All right. Darn elven magic. Yes, I'll get help. Wait here. That's strange. When I was here last, that tree looked a lot happier. We waited for ages until Ivo's mother finally left the palace. Then it was cool time. Critter and me cannonballed into the balcony. Ivo was torn between outrage and laughter. At school, I had a teacher who hit us across the fingers with something like that when we were naughty. I stayed the full 2 weeks nonetheless. Education is the key to success. I've only had dealings with a dragon once. The dear thing wasn't really all there, and completely harmless. Critter claims he doesn't know Ollie, but the family resemblance can't be denied. During my time here, I sat in this library many times enjoying a good book. Not. The king and queen keep gifts given to them by delegations from far-off lands in this room. Some of them are rather bizarre. Top hat might have been a present from a kobold delegation, although it's a bit too big for that. Top hat.
Oh yeah. Darn it. I can't take it yet.
I nearly got arrested once because of a flower like that. I didn't know why they're forbidden almost everywhere, until I heard someone playing one for the first time. I'll have to be careful. If the queen catches me, there'll be no leniency.
I couldn't allow him to propose to you. What sort of life would you have? You'd have lost him so soon, maybe just 50 years after marrying him. Or were you planning to go into the world with him and get old just like him? That would be terrible, and I told him as much. If one truly loves someone, then it's sometimes better to let them go. You know that I can be very convincing. The human spirit is weak. And perhaps there was a tiny bit of magic involved too. If only I'd known that it was already too late.
That darn witch! It all sounded so right. I was already across the sea when it became clear to me that I might have made the biggest mistake of my life. No wonder Ivo hates me. Her mother must never have told her what happened, or she blamed me for everything. What I'd really like to do is go up there, give the old boot a slap round the face, and get Ivo out of this place. But Ivo's mother is a powerful priestess. She's probably got a dozen ways she can incapacitate me without me even noticing. I have to be careful. It looks like she's asleep, but I don't think I could wake her, even without her mother there. Ivo's mirror. When I was here, her fat bird sat in front of it most of the time. The oracle on Tugador can look through all reflective surfaces. This is going to be a real feast for him. He loves drama. Cheep Cheep, Ivo's bird. We don't get along. He's a puffed up rooster. And he says the same of me. Maybe I can lure the queen onto the balcony, grab Ivo, and... no. Where would we go? When your girlfriend's mother is an elf priestess, and you want to make a good impression, you shouldn't call this a swimming pool in front of her. But I meant it in a good way. I even invited her and Ivo's father to join us. The queen must have ordered the sentries to let the Mary pass. So long as she doesn't give any order to the contrary, we should be able to enter and leave the woodland realm at any time. I think Ivo's never really got on with her mother, but she has always respected her. Her mother is very hardworking, very conscientious, very clever, but I think Ivo would have liked a bit more affection and warmth from her. I don't know if I'd have been happy here with Ivo. His place is beautiful, of course, but Nothing changes, or only unbelievably slowly. And who would want to live in his parents-in-law's house where time practically stands still? Bob is still sitting where I left him months ago. Of course, he's not really called Bob, but his elven name is too complicated and long to remember. And he likes Bob. Hey, Bob.
Nate, my boy, what are you doing here?
I brought Ivor all the way back.
I rescued Ivo from Tivitor, the flying pirate island, and brought her back here, more or less.
Oh, so you're getting on well again.
It's too late for that. Trust me.
It is never too late for that. Trust me.
Your wife has me, which Ivor, I'm taking Critter prisoner.
Your wife has hexed Ivo, an imprisoned critter. I'll free both of them, and
I would counsel you to patience, my impetuous friend. What has happened?
the queen found Ivo in the garden. She's pregnant. Did you know that?
I hope that you are speaking of Ivo and not my wife. Of course I knew.
She's put Ivo into a kind of deep sleep.
Theodora knows wise decisions take time. It isn't a simple sleep. It's a kind of time out. For Ivo, time is standing still until her mother brings her back.
When will that be?
As soon as she knows how she's going to deal with the situation. That could take months, even years.
Years? She's got no right to do that. We have to bring Ivo back.
Just like the polecat butters the bread of the barn owl.
How can we wake Ivor?
How can we wake Ivo up?
Without the help of her mother, impossible.
Then we'll have to force her. She can't keep Ivo imprisoned against her will.
You won't have any luck. Fiora will defend her daughter. She thinks she's doing the right thing. But if you can make her see that she's not acting in Ivo's best interests, then I'm sure she would let her go.
I should talk to her?
Oh, you'd be dead before you started out your first sentence.
Hey,
The queen never told what happened.
I eavesdropped on the queen. She never told Ivo what happened, right?
What happened? You just disappeared one night.
It was all your wife's fault. She hexed me. I was going to propose to Ivo. The queen intercepted me and whispered something in my ear.
Her words were just washed over. Had they not found something which they were able to catch hold of?
I thought long and hard about whether I should propose to Ivo. I loved her, but I also loved my freedom.
Gods and the wise call that getting cold.
So she can manipulate me because of my feet?
She magnified your doubts and let you lose sight of what was really important. Your love for Ivo.
But I didn't want her to have to watch me die. And I certainly didn't want her to come with me out into the world and grow old and die herself.
Would it have not been up to my daughter what sacrifices she would be willing to make for you? She is, after all, the more intelligent one.
I want to find a way to become.
After I left the Elfborough, my head still told me I'd done the right thing. I wouldn't condemn Ivo to a life with me, and a goodbye would have been too painful for both of us.
But your heart told you that you were a fool.
Later, I thought I'd found a solution. I'd find a way to live forever. Then I could marry Ivo, and we'd never be separated.
Your heart was right. You are a fool.
That is a problem. A mage monster is a frog.
Well, Archmage Alistair has been turned into a frog by a certain Van Buren, some little brat who's running through Seastone and transforming everything.
A little girl transformed the Archmage?
No idea how she managed it. Ivo said something about Wilbur's wand. And he's in the dark woods looking for a book that explains how it can be destroyed. In the meantime, Ivo wanted to organize a few things needed to bring the Archmage back.
What sort of thing?
Some book from Lorem Ipsum.
The Book of the Dead?
Yep, that was the one. Then we need a compass that belongs to the Red Pirate and something called the Spark of Life. That's why she came back here.
I see. It's crucial we turn Alistair back quickly. He might have answers.
If anyone's got answers, then it'll have to be Alistair. But to which question?
Answers? Which questions?
Something is stuck. I have felt it for a while now.
The little brat with the wand?
No. Something old, greater, and a great danger for you, for Ivo, for everyone.
That doesn't sound good. But I wouldn't even know where to start. Ivo didn't tell me very much. Or perhaps I didn't listen.
I have the spark of life here. I will give it to my
Alexa,
daughter as soon as she wakes.
turn light on.
I can't help you with the compass.
Okay.
But I saw the lost city of Lorem Ipsum with my own eyes. Oh, long, long.
So where is the sunken town?
If I were to look for Lorem Ipsum, where would I find the ruins of the city?
Under the sands of the Umzu Desert.
Oh, really? Could you be a bit more precise? The desert's pretty big.
I can't remember the exact location. I set out from the Bremen oasis, went into the desert, and just followed my nose. After a few days, I saw the golden roofs of the town glinting in the sun as it set behind them.
So Lorem Ipsum is west of Bremen. How far into the desert? How many days did you walk? And how quickly?
It was 3,500 years ago. What did you do last Thursday?
West of Bremen. That's a start.
So is
Ivo seems to have coped well with me leaving her. Seems to have been in a rush to find herself an elven prince.
No, she didn't take it well. She was hurt and disappointed. And no, she didn't throw herself around the neck of any elf prince.
I don't even want to know. I'd always loved her, but it seemed to have been quite one-sided.
how can I free?
Your wife trapped Critter in the garden. Some thorny tendrils grew out of the ground, imprisoning him.
Oh, an old trick that all priests have up their sleeve.
So novices couldn't sneak out of rituals early, eh?
But the tendrils are very ticklish, especially under the arm.
They... All right, then. Take care, Bob. I'll see what I can do to help Ivo and Alistair. Or, if I can.
I see a man with a mission of great importance that he would like to complete.
Like? All that work? All that danger? The stress? You've got the same attitude towards stress as I have.
I can see through you, Nate. You made your decision long ago. You just haven't realized it. To do good. Be part of something bigger. Help others. We all need goals in our lives. And the greater the goal, the greater the reward.
I don't know what you're talking about, old man. tickle, tickle. No problem. Now you go and wait on the Mary, okay? Go over into the garden. There are plants and fruit there if you're hungry. Don't fancy. Hey, Critter.
Huh?
Forget it. I've got everything under control. Provisions are low. If we sail around much longer, we'll have to get supplies from somewhere. Or Critter will have to eat less. 10 peaches. Oh. The Mary consumes huge amounts of coal. For the oven, but primarily for the steam engine. The Miners Guild promised to give me free coal for the Mary for the rest of my life at the end of the war. When I reminded them, a rather grim-faced dwarf said that the whole thing was meant to be symbolic. Many promises were made in the rush of victory and later not kept. The Red Pirate kept asking me again and again about his costumes when I was drinking with him. I didn't have the heart to tell him we used some of them as oil rags. A sailor's uniform with a hat and a duck beak made of card. Nope, they're not going to help me in the current situation. Ivo tidied up here when we flew back from the wildlands. At least that's what she called it. In reality, all she did was bring confusing order to my orderly disorder. Navigation isn't a complicated science. I choose a place on the map I'd like to fly to, and I tell the Mary the name of the place, and she flies me there. I don't know why other people find it so difficult. Mary and me like a bit of banter. She says I haven't got a clue about flying airships, and that we only stay in the air because she ignores my commands. Ha! Hey, Mary.
Captain Nate?
What's the course have you set, Mary?
What's our course, helmsman? Woman? Chick?
We are at anchor in the harbour and don't have a course.
I'll play along. You know I like all that nautical stuff.
Course set 2456 degrees north-south, Captain.
Very good. Keep course.
Yes, sir, Captain.
Ivor's mother has taken her out.
Ivo's mother. She simply switched her off. How dare she?
Switched her off.
Magic elven stuff. If I could, I'd go up there and...
You are not a fighter, Captain Nate. You are... No, wait a moment, you're not really a thinker either. What exactly are you?
A doer, Mary. A doer.
By looking of it, we have defined.
It looks as if we'll be off on our next adventure soon, Mary. Lorem Ipsum, the lost desert city.
I'll travel to the end of the world with you, but I'm driving.
All right. Let me know if there's a problem.
And then?
Most of the communication between a captain and his ship's nonverbal. We'll leave it at that for now. All right, then. Wilbur comes from around there. Mainly just dwarves and gnomes live there. The White Ridge Mountains are too cold for humans. Wilbur comes from around. Mainly just. The wildlands aren't that wild anymore since the Earth Gnomes took over the Archwitch's tower. But there's still a lot of evil vermin lurking around in the surrounding countries. That's the desert where Lorem Ipsum must be. Wait a minute. I must have a more detailed map of the area somewhere here. The Umzu Desert isn't all sand. There are stony mountains, gorges, and salt lakes. One thing they have in common is that it's darn hot. That's the old oasis of Bremen. Ivo's father set off westwards from this town and reached Lorem Ipsum at some point. The problem is, I don't know how far west of Bremen the ruins are. The area is large, and if I'm unlucky, the ruins are completely covered in sand. I have to reduce the search area somehow. That's the problem. The air. Only the best captains are already cast off. Nope, me neither. I think we all know who's responsible for that. A pile of maps, diaries, travelogues, and stuff. I was looking for things that promise eternal life. The Holy Grail, Philosopher's Stone, the Fountain of Youth, that kind of thing. Harder to find than you'd think. That's why I had the idea with the gin. At least I knew where to look for him. Wasn't there a book on Lorem Ipsum here? That's it. This is the famous travelogue that reports on the city Lorem Ipsum in a forgotten language. Scholars claim it speaks of life in the city and of huge wealth, the main reason that this text is so well known all around the world. The author of this diary never found the city, so I don't know if this picture of the city is born of his fantasy or if it's based on descriptions. What's this? The author seems to assign great meaning to these hieroglyphs. If only I could read them. Why didn't the people back then just write under the pictures what they were supposed to mean? The good captain always has the most... The good captain. Lorem ipsum dolor sit emet, consectetur edifici delit, sed eismod tempor institut ut labor et dolora magna aliqua, ut enim ad minim veniam quis nostrud exercitation unamco laboris nisi ut aliquid ex ei commodi consequat, and so on. For me, this is just a string of meaningless words. This is the famous travelogue of Scott. Lorem ut ad. blast off. I wonder whether... Here. That's what I was looking for. The book describes what the symbols mean. The first one is kind of angular stone. Yes, close, but not quite. There. It isn't. Gemstones. Jewels. That's a promising start. The second symbol. Yes, close, but not quite. That? Nah. Desert. Yeah, makes sense. The city is somewhere in the Amzu Desert. Next. Feet? What have feet got to do with it? Can you only reach the city by foot? The next symbol. 3. 3 feet. That's unusual. Perhaps the last symbol will make it clear. Mountains. Jewels, desert, mountains. The jewel of the desert at the foot of the 3 mountains. That's it. Lorem ipsum. The city with roofs of gold is the jewel of the desert and it lies at the foot of 3 mountains. And these 3 mountains must be west of Bremen. That should be easy to find. I met Critter in the Northlands. Nice people up there. Penguins mainly. 3 mountains west of Bremen. I bet Critter's next meal that the jewel of the desert is at the foot of these mountains. I'll mark the place on the big map. That's the old oasis of Bremen. It was already there at the time of Lorem Ipsum. Today it's a pretty little town. There hasn't been an airship visiting Lorem Ipsum for centuries, perhaps millennia, if ever. Time to pay a call to the old city. That must be it. Lorem Ipsum. And it looks like someone has already dug it up for us. mummy with a small spade. I wonder.
Mortimer.
No, I'm Nate. That's Critter.
But I seek Mortimer.
Here, under the sand.
Why aren't you Mortimer?
I, don't know.
Who are you?
Who are you?
I am, isn't the question more, who are you?
I'm Nate, like I already said.
So you are neither Mortimer nor that elf who was pretending to be Mortimer.
That, yes, I can confirm that.
So many people. I can't possibly remember all these names. I will call you Nate.
I can live with that.
Who is are you looking for?
Who is this Mortimer you're looking for?
Mortimer fetched me out of the darkness many years ago. I lived with him until he disappeared.
And now you're looking for him here?
Looking for whom?
That Mortimer.
You've seen him. I've been looking for him everywhere.
Have you the
Don't tell me you dug this huge hole.
All right,
I mean, why did you dig it?
I'm not meant to say.
You can tell me. What's the hole all about?
Yes, about that. Why did you dig it?
I didn't. You did.
Of course, I wanted to go home.
So you're from Lorem Ipsum.
Yes, it must be here somewhere.
Have you had a look around?
Ah, Lorem Ipsum. What a coincidence. I was born here, you know.
can you tell me something about the town?
What can you tell me about Lorem Ipsum? What was life here like?
Oh, wonderful. We've always had good weather. We built the most beautiful temples with the most fiendish traps. Sold them all around the world and made a lot of money from that.
You sold temples with built-in traps?
Of course, walls that suddenly come together and squash any intruder, invented here in Lorem Ipsum. We had breeding programs for scorpions and tarantulas, and we issued a 3,000-year guarantee for our traps.
That means your traps could still work today.
Traps? What traps?
I'm searching for a book. The Book of Dead.
I'm looking for a book.
I've seen one lying on Mortimer's desk.
I'm looking for a particular book. The Book of the Dead.
Oh, but that's just a legend. That book apparently explains how one can bestow everlasting life on people by wrapping them up in gauze bandages. Oh,
Assuming it wasn't a legend, where would the Book of the Dead be hidden?
ah, the Book of the Dead. Some say it is mere legend, but I have seen it many times. It was put into the tomb of the last pharaoh of Lorem Ipsum, the mad Tut-Tut.
What is the tomb of Tut and Tut?
And this Tut-Tut, where is he buried?
He is lying under a mighty pyramid, just like that one over there. Actually, now that I think about it, it's exactly like the one over there. What do you think? Why would someone put a pyramid here that looks exactly the same as Tut-Tut's?
How do you get into Tut-Tut's pyramid?
Who is Tut-Tut? And what's this pyramid you're talking about?
Ah, forget it.
What should I forget?
Do they remove your brain when they assemble?
Don't mummies have their brains removed during embalmment?
That's funny. I could swear that I've heard that question somewhere before.
I bet. I've got to go. And you? You might want to get out of the sun for a couple of hours.
I've not got time for breaks. I'm looking for a pyramid. It must be here somewhere.
A massive thing. I wonder if the mummy pulled it out here on his own. The little guy doesn't look that strong. The sarcophagus is gold-plated. In normal circumstances, I would pocket some of the gold. But it's a bit different if the inhabitant of the sarcophagus is full of beans and still needs it. The mummy's dug up Lorem Ipsum. I should be thankful for that, I guess. But I won't talk to it unless it's completely necessary. That thing gives me a headache. The whole slab is covered with characters. Hieroglyphs, something that looks like Old Dwarvish, and normal letters. At viro Deus et accusum et justo duo dolores et ea ribum. That's the same forgotten language as in the Lorem Ipsum text. According to legend, Lorem Ipsum had golden roofs. I can only see a pile of old stones. I found a very similar stone head in the Northlands and took it with me. But there's no way it could be from the same stonemasons. We're thousands of miles from the Northlands. The sand has protected the statues over the millennia. If they'd been exposed to the wind, there'd be nothing left of them but sand. A semicircular depression. There are lines and numbers carved into the stone on the inside. Perhaps some kind of calculation? Or something religious? No idea what that is. A massive stone plinth with a piece of rotten wood in the middle. I know that old stone columns often have a wooden core to keep the individual pieces of the column in place. The obelisk clearly had something similar that gave up the ghost at some point. I know that the Aye.
I think that
Can you read what's written on this stone?
I found this stone slab. What does it say?
it says, "Thank you for your decision to buy this pyramid model world wonder in 3 languages.
It's an operating manual?
Our lost temples could get rather complicated.
Does it say how to open the pyramid?
Terms of use, guarantee, washing instructions. Ah, there. Erect pyramid facing exactly north. Position obelisk A in depression G on stone socket B with the help of wooden peg F. We recommend the use of slaves for erection, not included in this delivery. Every day at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the shadow of the obelisk will point to the stone which opens the secret entrance.
Why doesn't it just say which stone you have to press? Who would write something like this? I've got to go.
Bye.
Aye.
So, what was that? What about the secret door?
So I should put obelisk B onto slab F, or something like that.
What are you talking?
The instructions! At 3 o'clock, the shadow of the obelisk,
Why are you always saying things that don't make any sense? It's very irritating. Anyway, one also needs a bicycle, has to put 2 into the left-hand column, and then wait until the whole thing's been well roasted.
I need one of the wooden pegs with the
the operating manual mentions something about a wooden pin, and there's some rotten wood still sticking in the hole in the stone plank.
Yes, we always had issues with the wooden pegs. Wood is easy to craft, but not as long-lasting as stone. I've discovered something completely new in Mortimer's hut. Metal.
Metal?
Yes, but not bronze. Much harder, much more durable. I called it ugly super bronze. I brought a sample of it with me.
Could I have a look at this sample of that?
How about the ugly super bronze?
The what?
The metal you found in Mortimer's house.
Who told you about that?
Ah.
One could build completely new types of weapons with this metal. Wood and bronze weapons would be useless. No one must find out until Lorem Ipsum has mastered the secrets of this material.
It is I, Pharaoh Tut-Tut.
Ah, the Pharaoh!
Yes, and I command you to give me the metal sample.
Wait a moment. The Pharaoh looked completely different to you.
And it's been a long time since we saw each other last.
He's taller than you. And last time I saw him,
Hi.
oh,
For the good, let us examine the metal.
You're right. Let's examine the metal for the good of Lorem Ipsum.
absolute. If we should ever get lazy and start to rest on our laurels, it could result in the town's downfall.
We, wouldn't want that to happen.
No, wait here. What was I going to fetch again? I was just pulling your leg. I never forget anything.
Thank you.
What for?
This depression here, what is it?
That is a sun clock.
Why does the sun need to know what time it is?
No, the sun tells us how late it is.
So how does the sun know what time it is?
Haven't a clue. The shadow of the little stick in the middle tells us for definite when it is time to, do things.
There is no stick in the middle of the clock.
It must have been broken then. I think more has been broken too. Didn't it look completely different here before?
I've got to go.
Bye.
Without a replacement for the wooden pin, the obelisk won't stay on the plinth. That thin thing? No, no botch jobs. The reed casts a thin shadow on the numbers and lines inside the clock. Fits like a glove. The sun clock is fixed. Now we just need the obelisk. The Mary should have enough power to heave the obelisk onto the plinth. And the pipe serves as the new connection piece K, or whatever it was. Off we go! Pull, my dear old fatty!
I'll pretend I didn't hear that.
Come on, you can do it! All right, now slowly. Ah! Well done, Mary.
Did you ever doubt me, little one?
The shadow of the obelisk at exactly 3 p.m. is supposed to cast across the stone you can use to open a secret door into the pyramid. Now it's about noon. Okay, it's 3:15. The obelisk is casting its shadow exactly on that stone. That must be it. That's it. Let's go.
If I were you, I wouldn't go in there. Traps. Lots of traps. Mortimer just about managed it, and Mortimer is... Mortimer.
He was in the pyramids?
Of course. He is an archaeologist. They always go wherever there are the most traps.
You know how the traps in there work?
Naturally. I even invented some myself. I am an engineer, I think.
How about you accompany us?
In there? Oh, it's dangerous.
Come on. Danger's your middle name.
Come on, I thought Danger was your middle name.
Really? That would be a strange middle name. Walter or Winifred, those are good names. Mortimer's second name is Alfred.
Come on now, get in that pyramid.
In there? It's dangerous in there.
It's important. The great evil is still.
It's important. We need the Book of the Dead to bring a friend back into this world, and he might know something about a great evil that's stirring.
It's like my dear old father used to say. Coyote, snake, bird looking to the left, sun, wavy lines, exclamation mark.
What?
Yes, he was very erudite, and you wouldn't have caught him simply wandering into a pyramid filled with traps.
You're right. We have to research.
We really shouldn't go into the pyramid unprepared.
Oh, come on. Danger is my middle name, and it's important. Great evil is stirring.
What?
You can't let me go in there on my own. You have to come in with me.
Okay, if that's how it's gotta be.
I win every argument. It's always been so. Put me on your shoulders.
Do I have to?
Up, up. We have 40 days in the desert ahead of us.
We're going into the pyramid.
Which pyramid?
Hey, stop puffing and panting in my ear.
I'm not panting. I'm exhaling dramatically. Onwards, my proud camel!
Nice little place. Vases, cat statues, wooden chair. Why is there only junk here and no treasure?
What use are treasures to you on the other side? At least you can sit on a chair.
As a real Tomb Raider, I have to at least take something. What about this? An ancient mirror, I'd say.
You can't take that. That is the first mirror that was ever made.
And
Pharaoh Tut was very particular about his appearance. He needs the mirror.
not anymore. I'm quite sure of that. It would seem that the pyramid served not only as the last resting place of the pharaoh, but also as a junk room.
No, those are valuable grave goods. The Pharaoh should not have to want for anything in the next world.
Seeds?
Just in case there's a famine in the next world.
Press for olive oil or something like that. I'd rather relax than work in the afterlife.
The Pharaoh naturally would never operate the equipment himself. Hundreds of his most loyal slaves were buried with him.
I don't see any bones. I guess the slaves had a bit of a rethink about their loyalty after the pharaoh died. Listen, Shorty, I've got something I need to take care of outside. I'll set you down here and take you with me when I come back.
Very well.
Alright, guys. I'm gonna go and leave this episode here. So, if you guys have enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you guys on the next one.
Cast off.